So you've started on this journey, right? Trying to become this new version of yourself, maybe more bold, abundant, magnetic.
Mm,
But then those old doubts, those familiar anxieties, they just sort of creep back in.
yeah.
And you might think, what's wrong with me? Am I broken? Am I failing?
Right. It's a really common feeling.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into something fascinating.
Hmm.
The physics of thought. Drawing from thought leader Hector Jesus Arancibia, we're looking specifically at why those old mind patterns keep popping back up.
Exactly.
Our mission here is really to unpack the mechanics of this mental momentum.
Hmm.
We want to help you understand why it happens and, crucially, what you can actually do about it so you can really step into that new self.
And what's so insightful, I think, about Aaron Sibia's approach is that he frames it almost literally like physics happening inside your mind. It's not just a metaphor.
Okay.
Which explains why just trying harder, using willpower, often doesn't cut it. It's not about being weak or failing.
Right.
It's more like, well, a predictable result of this neural momentum, like trying to stop a freight train on a dime, it just doesn't work that way.
Huh.
So yeah, it's absolutely not a sign of failure. Aaron Sibia explains it's a natural consequence of how energy and thought patterns actually function.
So thoughts have energy, momentum.
Exactly. He describes them as energetic patterns, almost like currents in the invisible ocean of the mind. They have real momentum.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit more then. So thoughts aren't just flickers of imagination in this view.
Hmm.
What exactly are they, and how does this momentum idea really apply?
Well, like I said, he calls them energetic patterns, currents. And if you think about it, it connects really well to basic physics, like Newton's first law.
Objects in motion stay in motion.
Exactly. Just like that, thought patterns in motion tend to stay in motion. That's the core of his physics of thought.
Okay.
See, your brain is essentially this brilliant, beautiful pattern-making machine. Its job is to automate things.
To be efficient.
Right. So if you've spent years, maybe decades, repeating thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or making money is really hard, those thoughts have literally carved out like strong neural highways in your brain.
Okay, got it.
So when you start introducing new thoughts, I am worthy, money flows easily to me. The brain doesn't just instantly delete the old pathways.
It can't just overwrite them immediately.
No, it rewires over time. So when those old thought loops suddenly surface again, it's not you failing. You're actually witnessing what Aaron Chibia calls neural inertia.
Neural inertia.
Okay. Yeah, he defines mental inertia straight up as the resistance of old beliefs to being replaced. So feeling that resistance, it's not failure. It's just the brain's existing wiring pushing back until the new wiring gets stronger.
That makes a lot of sense intellectually. Like, okay, my brain is just being efficient, running old programs,
Right.
but then you're doing the work, you feel like you're making progress, and bam. Those old doubts, the familiar anxiety, it just floods back. And emotionally, it really feels like regression.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like you've slipped all the way back.
So what's actually going on there? How does Aaron Shibia suggest we deal with that gap between knowing its inertia and feeling like we failed?
Yeah, that's such a crucial point. And the key distinction he makes is this experience. It's not regression. He calls it an echo.
An echo.
Yeah. Think of it like this. He uses a great analogy. Just like a bell continues to ring for a bit after it's struck, your old thoughts will continue to echo for a while.
Ah, okay.
So your job isn't to fight the echo or silence the bell immediately. It's simply to recognize it, to go, okay, that's just the echo of who I used to be. I'm not feeding that energy anymore. Let it ring out.
Let it fade on its own.
Exactly. It happens because when you decide to change, you start shifting your, let's call it, vibrational field. But the old vibration, the old identity pattern, it still has some residual energy, a bit of fuel left in the tank,
It needs to run out.
It needs to run out of steam, yeah.
Okay, so if we're not fighting these echoes, that's a pretty big mental shift right there. What do we do instead? Do we just sort of acknowledge them and wave them goodbye? Is there a more active way to disarm them without actually, wrestling with them?
Precisely. You don't wrestle. This brings us to what Aaron Sibia relates to the observer effect.
Like from quantum physics.
Kind of analogous, yeah. The idea there is that observing a particle changes its behavior. He applies this to thought.
Oh.
When you observe your old thoughts, notice them without identifying with them, without becoming them, you actually collapse their power.
Just by noticing.
Just by noticing without believing or reacting, they start to dissolve because you've stopped feeding them belief. Your awareness, your conscious attention without judgment, acts like a reset button.
Okay.
So an old belief pops up, maybe that I'm not good enough one again. Instead of spiraling, you can use a mantra, he suggests, something like, "This is a memory, not a prophecy. It has no power unless I empower it."
I like that. A memory, not a prophecy.
It's powerful, right? And this leads straight into the art of non-resistance. Think about those moving walkways at the airport.
Yeah.
That walkway is like the momentum of your past thinking. When you decide to change, you step off the walkway. But the walkway itself doesn't just instantly stop, does it?
No, it keeps going for a while.
It slows down gradually. It's the same with your old thought momentum when you shift your mindset. It doesn't just slam on the brakes. It needs time to wind down.
That moving walkway analogy is perfect.
Yeah.
I could totally picture myself trying to push against it. And yeah, just like in reality, it's completely exhausting and pointless.
Exactly. And that highlights the common mistake. People feel that old thought, take it as proof they haven't really changed.
And they step back on the walkway.
Yes. They get back on. They re-engage, they react, they start believing it again, feeding it energy.
Ah,
So the core instruction, simple but profound, is don't feed what's fading. Let it fade.
don't feed what's fading.
Okay.
So, practically speaking then, how does this help us build the new patterns? We talked about repetition and the brain. How does that actual physical rewiring happen?
Well, this is where neuroscience really backs this up. The brain physically changes through repetition. Neuroplasticity, right.
Right.
Your new identity, that new way of thinking and feeling, it doesn't become your default setting after one good meditation or, a week of affirmations.
It takes more than that.
It takes consistent practice. It becomes dominant when you practice it repeatedly, even when, this is key, even when your circumstances haven't caught up yet.
Ooh, that's important. Practice before the proof shows up.
Absolutely.
Right.
Sibia puts it bluntly, manifestation happens in the mind first, reality always lags.
Reality lags.
Yeah. Think of it like grooves in a record. Your old thoughts are deep, familiar grooves. That song plays easily. When you start playing a new song, a new belief system, it's like cutting a new groove. At first, it might sound a bit scratchy. Maybe the needle jumps back to the old groove sometimes.
Yeah. But with enough repetition, playing that new song over and over, that new groove gets deeper, smoother. It becomes the default track.
Okay, this is starting to feel really practical. So Shibia gives us a kind of protocol, right, for when that old self, that old echo tries to knock on the door. What are the actual steps you can take in that moment?
Yes. He lays out a pretty clear 4-step protocol. It's really helpful. First step, pause and witness.
Just stop.
Yeah. Notice the thought. Don't fight it. Don't react to it emotionally if you can help it. Just name it. Like, oh, hello there, old scarcity thought. I see you.
Acknowledge it. Okay, what's second?
Second, interrupt the pattern. Use an empowering phrase, something that resonates with you. Maybe, that's the old me, I've upgraded. Or, that thought pattern is expired. I only renew what empowers me.
I like expired. Okay, third. Shift gently. This isn't about forcing yourself to think happy thoughts when you feel awful. It's more of a gentle pivot towards a higher truth you want to embody. You could say to yourself, okay, that old thought is here, but I am choosing this new thought, even if it feels a bit unfamiliar right now.
Choosing the new thought. Gentle shift.
Okay.
And the last step.
And finally, number 4. Repetition is reprogramming. Remember the grooves. Every single time you consciously respond differently to that old thought, witnessing, interrupting, shifting, you are reinforcing the new neural pathway.
You're deepening the new groove.
Precisely. That's how the real change solidifies. It's not about one big heroic battle. It's about frequency, doing it consistently, not by force, but by frequency.
Wow. This really reframes the whole experience, doesn't it? It's not about being flawed or broken when old stuff comes up. It's just physics, understanding the momentum and the echoes.
Exactly. It takes the personal failure aspect out of it. Sibia says, old thoughts will try to visit you like ghosts from the past, but you are the gatekeeper now.
We decide if we let them in and feed them.
Right. The physics says that momentum takes time to naturally dissipate. But if you consistently stop feeding the energy into those old loops, they will dissolve. It might not happen in a day or even an hour, but inevitably, they fade.
That's really empowering.
It is. So when you're in that process, becoming your new self, and an old belief or feeling shows up, you can almost smile at it and say, you're just momentum. You're the echo. I am the new pattern now.
I am the new pattern now.
Because you are. You are embodying that pattern of power or peace or presence, whatever it is you're cultivating, and that version of you is gaining its own momentum day by day.
What a great way to wrap this up. It leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to carry forward, given this really profound understanding of how thought momentum works. Think about this. What is one old groove, one old pattern you're ready to consciously stop playing? And maybe more importantly, what new song, what new beliefs will you deliberately choose to practice starting today, knowing that eventually reality will catch up?